No. Chicken. Mashed potato. So this is like my typical post-workout meal, shake, whatever. We got 200 grams of egg whites, 142 grams of chicken. We're gonna do turkey. Extreme chicken shake. It's frozen chicken. It's pre-cooked and frozen. Get that frozen in your chicken. You can just drink it like that.
Which one? Eating? Okay, so what you saw is a very enthused, bodybuilding, motivational video, right? It looks cool. A lot of the folks that are on there are professional bodybuilders, right? So they can dedicate their whole lives. That is their income. That's how they make their money. That's how they make their bread, right? Half time to get like free supplements, stuff like that. Of course, they're on performance enhancers, a lot of them. All those things above. Is that us? No, it's not us. It's cool to watch those videos, but it's not truly the reality of the situation. So what I'm getting from there is I'm not trying to say, hey, you need to go blend your chicken and drink it. Right? Do you need to eat dry chicken breast 8 days old? No, you don't need to do that. Are we saying, hey, I want you to go look like that guy or that girl or anyone? No, we're not. Every one of y'all has absolutely different goals. And what was really great about, I mean, you have common goals, but a lot of y'all have some very different ones, and some that I didn't. Like Mo's was definitely the most unique one. But what it did was it gave us an opportunity, a quick snippet to know maybe what your style is, what your style of eating is, what you're looking to get out of this. Internally as well as externally. Now, when you see that, yeah, it's just eat the food for fuel, right? Is it that simple? It's not that simple. If it was, then all of us would look exactly like that. What we want to try to do is we want to try to give you a practical way, some things to do along the way to keep you on track, to give me about 80% of that. So if we're writing out a diet plan and we want 100% you to follow that, if you give me 80% compliance, then we're probably going to push really, really close to your goals and give you what you need while still maintaining a good social life and relationships, because a lot of those guys have zero of it. They're going to bed at 6 p.m. at night. They're waking up at 5 a.m. for 2-hour cardio. They have zero friends, no social life, because can you imagine they're bringing, everything is measured and brought to the dinner table, whether they're out with friends, birthday, whatever. Can you imagine a kid trying to give you some cake and you're slapping it out of their hand? You're like, I can't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. We're not telling you to do that, but I want to get that across. I wanted to show like what is given to you in the mainstream is suck it up, eat what you can, do it, while the world is telling you different. You can't check out at a register without having 10 candy bars looking at you. You can't go down an aisle without finding sugar added to some type of ingredient like a can of tomatoes. So it's not easy out there. So for that, we want to thank y'all, first of all, for actually coming here, signing up to doing it. One, showing up here, that's the other part. And then going through the headache of getting everything measured to create baselines for you. It's not easy to do. Like, to sit here and know that, oh, this is my waist, or this is my whatever. This is what, essentially, whatever was measured today is what you built. And that's the reality of the situation, is if it's not what you like, you built it, right? So you carry it everywhere you go. So you kind of got to understand that, you know, it is the reality, and that's one of the hardest parts in the beginning is, what's the truth? And here it is. The truth is in front of you. Okay, so on that, most of y'all know me. Dan, if you don't know me, right here. Some of my staff is over there. My wife's co-owner right over there, Nicole. She's running the nutrition department. So a lot of your coaching, continuous coaching, will be coming through her. doesn't mean that you can't talk to me in the day-to-day or anyone else. Now, everyone that's actually around you as well is, you guys are going through this together, so use each other too. Coach Jen is over there. She's done some measurements as well. She's a resource that you can use as well. And then I want to introduce 2 new coaches that just came on as far as Butch and Melanie. They just finished their Westside certification, and they're going to start implanting. Butch is going to be the new 0500 coach, so it's going to be great. He's going to be here plugged in early for you all, and he told me he comes an hour early just to, so everyone gets early. So he'll be there for that. But seriously, 2021 is a big deal for us because me and my wife are no longer trying to do it by ourselves. We're trying to create a good team, and just know that these coaches are awesome. It took us about 4 years to even put anyone in front of anyone else. So know that, I know this is sidebar, but know that if you're coming in at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, or you're coming in at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, if someone is there wearing that black sheep shirt and they're representative of that coach, then we have really, really pushed to make sure that they're the best representation of what this place is and the service that you'll get. Coaches wear red. That's the thing right there. We released red shirts for our coaches because that's their sacrifice. Like, that's time that they could train. That's time that they could do something for themselves. But for that hour or a couple hours, they've decided to give it back to y'all, to give it back to an athlete that maybe they used to be or they still are. They're shedding something to get a little blood back into it. And that's why they wear red. So if you ever wonder. So I just want to give a shout out for them, and also, like I said, thank y'all for doing this. Okay. I'm not amazing with PowerPoints. I'm just going to use it. Like, I might not say half the stuff that's on there. My goal is probably not to keep everybody here all day neither. First off, when it comes to this, like we said, change isn't easy. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do over a period of time. You've gotten here, and this is the first step, right? But the steps that lead on from here are going to be what compounds into your success. So make sure that you guys understand that change isn't easy. It's not easy for anyone to basically evolve. You're talking about animals took thousands of years to evolve into what they are. We're one of the few ones that, I don't even want to say that we are evolving. I'll say that we probably de-evolved, and we need to get back to our prime, and that's what we're trying to do. That's going to require some change and definitely consistency. I commend y'all for being different. I commend you for doing something that your coworkers are not really going to be on par with. They're going to challenge you. You're gonna come in the break room, and there's going to be, I mean, like for example, that one right there. Every one of y'all failed. I saw you eat donuts. I'm just joking. But they're going to bring those donuts in for. Did you do it before the picture? They're going to challenge you. They're going to say, why are you doing that? They're going to say, well, just have one donut. Just do this. If you do, it's okay. We don't want you to have a bad relationship with food, but we want you to be okay with your decision, right? So you're going to have a lot of people that try to influence that. They're going to be like, don't do that. It's going to be them. It's going to be family members. It's going to be mom. It's going to be pop. It's going to be your brother, your sister. They're going to sit here and they're going to say, why are you doing it? Why? Just have something. Oh, don't be a prude. Come on, have a drink with us. Do this, do that. You know what I mean? It's going to be on you to decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And you don't need to explain it to anybody. But it is going to happen along the way, because being different usually breaks up the status quo. Everyone around them is going to be like, no, we want you to be like us. So I'm going to challenge you to make sure you surround yourself with the right type of people that are going to support your goals. And like I said, right here, you have that. So thank you for trusting us in helping you do this, because you could have gone with anyone, but I know it's obviously your gym, so that's good too. But thank you for trusting us with doing this for you. All right? Is everybody okay? Everybody still awake there? So when it comes to this, nutrition is a vast subject. It's science in every bit of form. It's chemical reactions in the bodies, hormones, all this stuff. We are not looking at bombarding you with every bit of information that has to require a master's degree. We're going to keep this as simple as possible. Okay, so if you guys have questions about anything that is super technical, right? If you're like, what about my insulin spiking during this, and when I eat this, sidebar me and then we can figure it out, all right? But what I don't want to do is I don't want to come in here and give so much information that it clouds the simple things that we want to get across. The simple way to eat, the simple way to execute, and things like that, okay? So, You will be coached. So when you leave here, this isn't a one and done situation, right? This is more of an introduction of how this is gonna be. We're gonna give some things we feel that you know now, but when you leave here, your coaching isn't done. Your coaching is ongoing through this 3-month process. You're gonna be able to reach your coaches, you're gonna be able to reach me. We're gonna be able to help you along the way because the challenges that are coming, we don't know what they are. We got an idea of what they are, but you're gonna learn as you go. You're gonna be like, well, dang, when I'm cooking food, it tastes horrible and I never eat it. Or, hey, Sunday I prepped, but Monday I didn't eat it. Or Wednesday is too dry, what do I do? Or, hey, I'm trying to measure this and I feel like I don't know how to convert this to that. You're gonna have to learn as you go. We can't sit here and anticipate everything, but I want you to understand that your coaching is continuing on. So it's not like, hey, here's a seminar, goodbye, go off into the world and you better stick with it. It's not like that, okay? Participate. It sounds simple, but you do need to participate. One in the most obvious, your diet. Like actually participate in it. If you have macros assigned to you, you need to do your very best to participate in actually consuming them and nothing else. You can't just do the macros and throw on everything on top of that. That wouldn't work. But you want to make sure that you participate in that. But also along the way, you are going to get emails, you're going to get notification in your apps, and there are going to be little things to read daily that is going to try to change your mindset on how you eat and everything. So make sure that you are participating in that. Okay. Obviously, there will be days and stuff. So, Lauren.
Yes.
Why? Why are you doing this?
Why not?
Okay, why not? Why is, if you were sitting here, like you're sitting down at a table and your daughter's looking at you and it's pizza night and you're not eating pizza, she's gonna be like, Dad, why? What would you tell her?
She already knows, but
Let's assume she's not in that.
I'm cutting weight for the next machine, and the whole goal of me doing this, I want to cut my body fat down to about slightly under 10%, because I want to be at a lighter weight, but still maintain strength. I want to walk around at 180 pounds without having to cut 6 to 10 pounds, 1 to 2 months out before I meet. I want that to be my walking around weight.
So you want to be more naturally strong
Yes.
where you're at.
At that.
I'm gonna throw this in the air. I probably shouldn't. Mike, why's your wife? Huh?
Is there a word limit? Yes.
What's your why, Mike?
Thank you, Megan. My why?
Yeah, why are you doing this?
My why is because I was told at a very young age that I will never have visible abs because it's not in my genes. It's been 17 years since I was told that, and I still have never had abs. So I would like the first time to have visible abs.
To have abs, to see them, right?
That's
Someone
two
told me
tweets. 2 tweets.
Alright.
300 characters.
Rob, what's your why? I have to put both y'all together.
Oh, hashtag beat Rob. Bored.
Records, medals, when I'm Sorry, Dan, what were you saying?
Your why? Why?
To have the aesthetics match the performance and the confidence that I feel like I feel confident, but my confidence doesn't necessarily match the aesthetics, so to speak.
So, you want to look like you're just jacked all the time, right? You want to walk around like that's it. You want abs, you want to be jacked, right? Anyone else, it's okay for it to be aesthetic. Like that's not, I think that's a common misconception is people don't want to seem narcissistic. They don't want to seem like all they care about is the looks. But I guarantee almost everyone that joined this gym did not like something physically about their body, and that was the number one. You just don't want to say it. You just want to, because society is told you, oh, it's not okay for you to, that's body shaming, that's this, they come up with all this other made up shit. Like when it comes down to it, like it's okay to want to look good, right? Because when you're looking in the mirror, and if what you see is not what you like, then you're the one that has to feel that way, right? You're not looking at that mirror with someone else. Well, for the most part, you're not. So it's you having a conversation with yourself that I don't like this. And it's okay to want to change it. But it's also okay to understand that it's going to require you to do something to change it, right? Tiffany, which way?
Kind of what you just explained. Like, I go to the gym every single day. I want to look like I go to the gym.
Like you go to the gym?
I want to put my clothes on and feel confident in whatever I put on.
So on that, you see a lot of people, they go to the gym. They go to the gym for 4 years. They go to some gyms, whatever it is, and they look exactly, it's a running joke. You go to CrossFit gym, you look the same. No one knows. I think that's any gym, right? So what sets the person apart from, say, I went to the gym for 3 years, but I look the same? Like, you're out here lifting weights. What are you not doing then?
For me, it would be, I want to be lean enough to where you can actually see the muscle.
Good. You know, and that's the X factor. When you see people and you're like, man, that dude's really killing it. 9 times out of 10, it's because they've done something with their diet. Like, we're lifting the same reps, especially in this gym. It's unique because y'all are doing, for the most part, the same programming, right? And then maybe someone joined the gym at the same time as you, and then you're like, oh, I fucking hate him. Why does he look so good right now, right? Like, we joined at the same time. He's looking jacked. He's got his shirt off, and I don't. What's going on? What's the difference? Most of the time, that X factor is nutrition. That's what it is.
Or they're 18.
Butch, tell me a day of eating for you. Monday, day of eating. Normally, what it is?
Fucking Cheerios.
Cheerios.
Peanut butter and crackers with no salt crackers, and then something for supper and some protein drinks.
How long have you been eating like that?
Years. I eat the same thing every day.
We had a discussion a long time ago that was super eye-opening to me because, yes, we're in the coaching role, but we never stop learning. That's how we are good coaches, right? We never stop learning. He said something that was very profound to me because we were talking about bench, and if you know anything about me, I have a lot of bad bench days. Like, I throw my belt constantly, it doesn't go right? If you ever stay around 9 o'clock, it's quite a show. So, he told me, he was like, do you know why I eat the same thing every day? He was like, so that I could perform the same every day. Like, he's consistent. He was like, I'm not gonna go out, he's not going out and gonna eat some weird, like, Indian dish he's never had, and then the next day wonder why he doesn't have his strength or wonder why he isn't performing well or anything like that, because he's consistent in his diet to where that his performance will maintain consistency. I mean, if we were even looking at ourselves as tribes and say Pacific and say you're in North America and say you're up towards the Canada, we never met each other because there's no internet, there's no Facebook, there's no way to meet each other. We would say the people that are close to the water will probably mainly eat fish as their diet. The people that are maybe close, they're hunting different types of animals. But we would say for the most part, they eat the same types of food every day. That they're not going to have anything, they're not going to eat fish over here. They're going to be indigenous to what's around them. So that consistency would yield the same stuff to happen. It's just sometimes, go ahead.
In comparison, how do you eat?
Maybe I eat everything.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is, and I told Dan this, I don't really like food. I only eat it out of necessity. I don't get into eating like different things and trying this and trying that. I'm just somebody that just eats because I have to.
Right.
That's why I'm able to eat the same thing every day, and it's no big deal to me.
We're driving to Ohio to Nashville, and we're about 2 hours in the ride. And I'm gonna tell you, he opens up a fresh box of Cheerios, pours it in a bowl.
No milk. Never drink
He
milk.
says it's Cheerio time. Pours it in a bowl.
Just Cheerios, right? That's how
We didn't rent a large vehicle, so it smells. You know, Cheerio is a very distinct smell. Smells like the box that it comes in. And he just starts eating it. And I'm like, gosh, you know what I mean? At anything, he is what he says he is. And at 59 years old, whatever, he's up there. 68. At the age that he is, I mean, there's a lot of young guys that are like, God, I wish I could look like that right now. You know, Mike over there. I mean, it is the consistency. So when it comes down to it, it's okay. I had this too. About 2 years ago, I had someone come to me and they started their diet, and they met, they were like, hey, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay, we sidebarred it while everybody else was working out. And she starts telling me, I'm so tired, I think I need to adjust this, I need to change. Maybe my fats need to go up, maybe my carbs need to go up. Like, I am so tired, I don't even feel like I can work out. I'm emotional, I'm upset about everything. This is off, I feel really, really bad, I don't know what to do. And I let her finish, and I told her it's Wednesday. She started on Monday. It was 3 days down the road, and she was already like, there's something wrong. You're gonna get that, okay? You can do the right thing for one day, that's great. But you gotta do it compound each day. Like when you do this workout, the folks that come Monday through Saturday benefit the most. Because Monday connects to Tuesday, Tuesday connects to Wednesday, Wednesday connects to Thursday. Your Tuesday is gonna decompress you from all the heavy shit you did on Monday. But if you miss Tuesday, and you come on Wednesday, guess what? It's more heavy shit. It's just upper body, right? So you didn't get the decompression that you got Tuesday, and guess what? Friday comes along, and you're still sore, and now it's leg day again. And you're like, I don't know what happened. Because it connects, and it's the same thing when you're eating. You have to connect that momentum as you go on, build upon it. On the consistent, everyone have any, I do want to keep this really open. I like engaging with other people. So do you guys have any questions so far about anything that we've talked about so far? Does anyone want to share their why? No? Okay, cool. So in this process, from our perspective, it's a 6-step process, and that's the same with almost anything. I can relate this completely with training people as well. So the very first process is going to be assess and gather. That's your measurements. That's what we did. You went in the back, we assessed what we are working with right now. Where is your waist at? What is everything? We need to get that data to begin with so that, one, we can compare it later on. We can see if we're going up or down, and we can see if the diet's actually working. Because for Zach, it may be very different for Aaron. And that could be based upon like BMR, like how much does he burn naturally compared to him? Maybe he has more muscle mass, so he burns more calories just at a resting rate than he does. So if we gave them both the exact same diets, we may still get different results. So we have to have that data to begin with to start that, okay? Understand, explore. That's what we're doing when we do the video. That's what we do every day is get to know y'all. It's like, what is gonna make it work, right? So Dan, when I was talking to you, you told me something very interesting about when you meal prep. Can you share what you do and then what makes it harder for you during the week?
So I meal prep typically on a weekend and container it all up, put it in the refrigerator, put it in a lunchbox, put it in the truck, and then go get Arby's. Right?
That's gonna be y'all. It's gonna happen. Like Mike's over there nodding his head. He's like, yes, yes.
You talking about like the quality of food or
so that happens. So you go eat something else, right? Why? And a lot of people be like, logically, you prepped it. Why didn't you eat it? What stops you from eating it?
So for me, I'm a very basic cook. I throw meat on the grill and vegetables on the stove, and it ends up drying out, getting hard. And yeah, the seasoning's not. It's good when it's fresh. I mean, I could eat all of it at one time, but over a course of a couple of days, it's not as appetizing.
So what's happening is you guys are gonna fall into the challenge of like, how am I gonna make this taste better? How am I gonna make myself want to continue eating? Yeah, you can look at the bodybuilding videos and they're saying eat that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but is it that simple, right? So along the way, we're gonna have to figure out ways to, one, go back to what I said, being consistent, to keep doing it, but two, how are we still gonna stay interested in it? Because there's so many choices out there, like, of what you can eat, and it's readily available, and that's the challenge. Is yes, we can prepare it, and we still cannot do it, right? So what we're gonna do right here is we gotta get to know you to see what works. So with Dan, individually, we're helping everybody, right? We're all going through the same seminar, but we know right away with Dan, we need to start shoving some recipes his way. Start saying, hey man, and we were talking about brine and chicken earlier. Talked about dried chicken. It's like, okay, well, have you ever brined chicken before? That's one way to make, and he was like, no, I never have. Because like he said, I'm a basic cook, right? He likes to eat really, really good food, but he doesn't feel that he cooks it in the way that is best for him. So maybe something simple like brining his chicken would allow him to not choke down that dry Thursday chicken that he made on Sunday. right? So we know to coach him, we're like, well, we need to send some recipes this way. We need to attack that. That's us getting to know you so that we can create a better experience from him, from someone else. Like Mike, do you care how the chicken tastes? Mike don't care how the chicken tastes. Thursday chicken, Monday chicken, he don't care. Maybe he's just totally okay with whatever it is. I'm gonna do it because I want to win, or I want to be raw,
Add water.
or whatever.
Drink water.
Yeah.
Someone's
down
at
that
roast
bill.
sriracha.
See, but not everybody's like that.
I just said the same thing. I'm like, put sriracha on it.
Put sriracha on it.
It tastes better.
Mustard and
Yeah.
sriracha.
So just like that, that's communicating with us too. You guys are gonna be going through this. Do not be afraid to send us messages. Okay, if it's 11 o'clock at night, you're probably not gonna get a response, right? But send us that stuff and communicate with us, because this has to be, we have to gather information. We have to adjust, we have to change. Tell us like, I tried dry chicken. I didn't eat any of it. What do I do now? That's when we do the problem solving, when we start intervening and do something better, right? So that may be as simple as me being like, Dan, hey, I sent you 3 recipes. I want you to make that meal, send me a picture. Now I'm creating accountability for him so that he executes the plan. I'm giving an intervention from what I learned, and I'm like, hey, go make that meal, send me a picture, I wanna see it. And then I talked to him Monday, I was like, how was it? And he was like, it's fucking delicious, man. I'm eating it every day at lunch, and it's great for me. And you know what, it's gonna keep him on track. Now I may give him the recipe, I might be like, hey, I want you to cut out this, or make sure you put it to your portion size, or whatever. But now he's on track and he's gonna keep going with it. You know what I mean? Does anyone else have like an issue with like food? Like you fucking love food, like Mo's love food. Foodies, you like, when you see the pictures, you love it, you're like, I gotta have that, right, Rob?
You know I am.
I know.
I have a hard time
Yeah.
portioning out, like when you have a casserole or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can do it if it's really broken down, like you have your vegetables, you have your carbs, you have
Yep.
your protein, I can do that, but when it's mixed together, like in a soup or casserole, I can't break it down.
You can't get the actual number in it. So
But
that,
by weighing it, how do you know if you're weighing the right amount of?
Oh, because as it's mixed, each slice is gonna have a different mixture, so you can estimate, but you're never gonna get a true.
So-
a true.
on that, that's a really, really good question. That's why most people keep it basic, is because they're like, I don't know how much of onions are on this side of the casserole, how much meat is on this side. You can have one side float over here and have nothing. It's gonna be randomized. This is how we did it, okay? Because we ran a mill company for 3 years in the local area before we even had a gym. And it did really, really well. And what was unique about our services is that if people were on competition diets, or they were following a set amount of calories restriction and everything like that, we would take the items off of our menu and match it to what they did. We did it for an upcharge, but that was what was really unique about us. So one way that you can do that, say for instance, you're eating, I'm just gonna say it off personal, like a jambalaya, right? Like it's like a sausage jambalaya. You would never think that during your meal prep that you're gonna be able to do it, because like what's in it? It's like rice in it, sausage, some type of meat, okra, the sauce, all that stuff is in it. And you're like, I don't know how much that is. And most of the time when you're getting this food from other people and the nutrition facts are on that, they don't even know what's on it. The margin of error for that is ridiculous. So that's why it's so much better to eat what you prepare, because you know what's in it. That's a sidebar and stuff.
But isn't there also a compound effect? So you say Monday bleeds into Tuesday, Tuesday bleeds into Wednesday for lifting. It's also food. If you prep on what Sunday and you start eating on Monday and you make soup, for example, you eat that soup over the whole course of the week, you're getting all the nutrients in from it.
You are, but what if it's more? So her question would be like, how can I eat, and it goes back to Dan's, how can I eat something like jambalaya while I'm
But
on the
here's
diet?
the thing though, if you can make all that, you know what you're putting into it. If you're the only one eating it, you know you may not be getting, you may be getting different percentages each day,
Yeah.
but over the course of eating the whole thing, you know exactly what your macros are.
I'm gonna give you something simpler. This is what we did, and this is how we made it work. We took the ingredients for our jambalaya. We took the sauce, we put it off to the side. We had it already prepped and ready to go, and that meal that we wanted special, say it was a dinner, like you both want to have jambalaya together, you want to have it for dinner, Or maybe mom's visiting, you want jambalaya, but you don't want to look weird, right? You don't want to be there with your Tupperware meal, eating this is why it's practical, right? This is why we're not trying to be that bodybuilder at the table with the Tupperware in front, looking weird in front of our family. What we did is we put the ingredients off to the side and we added it into the pan and cooked it individually. It's a little more time consuming, but if you don't, so what we would do is we would be like, okay, how much rice can I have allotted for my day? I'm gonna take 1 cup of rice, 30, 40 grams of carbohydrates, whatever it was. I'm gonna take that rice, it was cooked, I'm gonna put it in the pan. The fats that I was allotted was 15 grams of fat. I'm putting that much oil into the pan. I'm gonna start right there. The sausage, I would cut it and measure it to 4 ounces or whatever. Maybe I wanna split it. Maybe I wanted some meat and then another sausage, I wanna mix it together. Throw it on the pan and cook it as one dish. And then take that dish and plate it. And then if you feeling like you want to help Sean, you cook him a dish. Or make him cook a dish. Either or, but that's how we did it. Now, are you gonna realistically be able to do that for every meal? Probably not. But treat it as something that you can, treat yourself to some normalcy along the road. Is separate those ingredients so you can actually count it. And then you can track it. And then now you have this meal in front of you that is gonna be pretty accurate. Gonna be 100%? Probably not, but it's gonna be very close. Remember that 80% rule?
Dishing out your own.
Exactly, so that will be the 80% rule where we're gonna get as close as we can to it. Alright? Sidebar, big time. Observe and monitor, we're gonna record what happens, right? So say I send that stuff to Dan and he doesn't do it. Say he doesn't cook it, and it's like Tuesday, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to see what happens. That's gonna be communication on the back end. I'm like, hey, did you try any of those recipes? What did you think? And he's like, no, I didn't. I was like, well, if you want to make this a little better so you stop eating Arby's, try those recipes. Once he does, I'm going to observe what happens next. Does he stick with it longer? Well, I hope so. That's what we want. We want to keep you going every day. We want to keep you going to the next week. We want you to be sitting in that same chair 3 months from now. It's going to be very, very sad when that chair is empty 3 months from now because you didn't stick with it. Think about what's going to come of it. Take those interventions, change it. And that same thing goes for, say, you're taking your macros for 2 weeks and your weight maybe isn't going down. Maybe you're gaining weight. Let us know right away so we can make the change. We're going to observe you gaining weight and we're going to change it and then monitor it. And then once we do that, we take that data and circles all the way back around to steps 2 again. And we just keep going, right? That's the same thing with strength training. You come in here, you got shitty shoulders. Okay, you got shitty shoulders. You probably start doing this every day. You do it every day, gets a little better. That's the intervention we gave you. We reassess. How's your shoulders now? Oh, heck, I can press overhead now. Okay, cool. What's next? How can we make that better? And then we keep going from there. Make sense? Anyone got any questions? I know we're talking about meal prep. We're going bouncing all over the place, but I think we get more from the open stuff than the PowerPoint. So. Like I said, specifics about your coaching. This is going all the way 3 months from now, but what I want y'all to know is that we're not gonna be able to give you everything today. We're not. We took a lot of time to measure, and I wanna respect your Saturday and everything like that. We're not gonna be able to give you every science thing about it. That's why you get the ongoing coaching. This is continued coaching, so when you leave here, you're still being coached, okay? Send us your questions, send us everything like that. The biggest part when it comes to this stuff is accountability, right? People sign up to do things because they want results. The reason they didn't have results before is because they had no accountability. So you have the accountability here, but I'm stressing again, you have accountability all around you. Tell someone that's next to you, hey, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. Some of y'all did interviews together. My specific with that was, if you're gonna do an interview together, make sure that other person doesn't quit. Do an interview together, make sure that you're doing the interview at the end together. That's what I want to see. At the same time, make sure you like each other at the end. Sounds ridiculous.
Oh, so is that why we like?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Nicole, do you have any specifics that you want to talk about as far as the coaching, things that they're going to get daily or whatever that they need to?
So on your apps, if you want to pull out your phone, you are going to have straight communication with me. On there, probably have like welcome first, I believe. Or actually,
Great job.
so everybody should have a great finger. Okay, I've already put. No, not yet.
Finger.
The thumbs up.
The
I
great
mean.
finger's the thumb,
That's your
which
great
is not.
finger.
That's my great finger.
The thumb is the great.
Some people get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've already,
They get messages.
I've already done that.
It's very difficult. Go ahead and click that. So every day I'm gonna start putting tasks into your thing. So I'm gonna go over each person's, like the things that you're weak at, and I'm gonna start putting daily tasks on there. So when you, I think no, here. Can I use your phone real quick?
I put something. Rocky told me not to.
I'm sorry. So every morning you're gonna wake up, did you eat enough protein? You're gonna click. So I'm gonna hit all of your weaknesses and you're gonna be reminded every day. So every time you pick up your phone, it's gonna, hey, did you eat your protein? So you're gonna check. And these are the weaknesses that y'all put in your phones. I'm gonna keep you accountable on this. So I see if you don't do it. So like we have people that have sleeping, that can't sleep, or let's see, targeting sleep. How did you meal prep for today? Did you have all the foods that you needed? Did you drink your water? That's on everybody. So I know y'all drink your gallons and stuff, but it's still gonna be on there because you need to do it every day. So each person individually will have this on their screen, okay? And along with that, let's see. So if you go down, you'll see the little personal stick figure with their hands on the side. Oh, not that one. Sorry. The message button, those come straight to me. So any messages? On some of y'all's, you'll have it to where you have to take pictures of your food. So that's also people that have issues with that don't have a problem, that have a problem with making sure they get food. And you can do that with every meal. And when you go on it, it'll say, did you enjoy your food? How much did you eat? Did you eat all of it? Did you feel satisfied from the meal that you ate? And this also is the bad meal that you eat. Take pictures of it. If you want full accountability in everything that you do, please be active with me. So that I can make the changes for y'all so y'all can reach the goal that y'all put in your thing. Is there any questions about the app?
I just know if you're doing nutrition or supplementation, you're doing like
Okay, so that's gonna go into the second. So there's gonna be 3 seminars in this whole thing. I decided to break it up. So first, the first 30 days is gonna be getting y'all into skills. And what is the other word for it? Skills, getting a plan, getting y'all, what's the other word? There's another word. That word. So, and then when we come back after 30 days, y'all should already start seeing some changes with just the little stuff that we give y'all. So on, I think, what is it, March 1st is what you put on there? It's 4 weeks. So March 1st or that weekend after, we're gonna come in, then we're gonna dig a little bit more deeper. So we're gonna go into specifying like we have athletes that compete, we'll start digging more into macros and different levels of macros. We'll start digging into carbs, like let's just say Lauren here probably needs more carbs because he's feeling a little bit weaker during some of his training. So we're gonna dig a little bit more into that during that. So that's when a lot more fun gets. That's when I get to dig deeper into y'all's personal stuff. It's gonna get into like, hey, are y'all having regular bowel movements because we need that stuff to get in and get out and get all the nutrition that you need from it. So that, but protein is gonna be protein powder and stuff. We're going over just the basic stuff right now for supplement.
Real quick question on the macros. Is it based on percentage of calories or percentage of grams that you're
It's off of what your body is. So it's going off your height, your age, your weight, your
I
activity.
understand that aspect, but for the percentages, say if I'm doing a 40, 30, 30, is it based on the percentage of calories I'm getting 40, 30, 30, or the actual grams?
It's gonna be grams.
Okay.
It'll be grams. But
That's easy to
everything's
figure.
different for each person though. Any other questions for me? What? No questions?
Are you giving us,
No.
No?
Nobody's
We'll go
getting any
more.
macros. Nobody's getting macros.
So how do I know what to eat tomorrow?
You guys
We're
start
gonna go over that.
February first.
Well, you start February 1st.
Arby's is open.
Oh, February. Anything else?
Did anybody else read Deep Dish?
Deep dish? So on that, remember we said that we gotta collect data, we gotta get to know you and stuff like that? If we came in here and we started doing like macros right away, and you guys start doing it, some of you guys would do very well, some of you won't. We wanna give you the option to think about it, because there's two ways to measure. One is through actual measuring, and one's more of a visual way to do it. They call it the hand portion. So,
It's in their packet.
which is also in your packet. It has illustrations, but we'll go over it up here as well. So what you may want to do over the week is decide which one may work better for you. Because most people that are very like analytical and stuff like that will love macros, because they're like, okay, that gives me an exact number, that's what I want. Other people aren't ready for macros right away. They're a little bit more, they don't have much time. They maybe have to be on the fly with their meals. The visual representation. Think about also like folks that are active duty, that TDY and stuff like that. It's a little bit different. They may be eating at chow hall, or they may be eating at some restaurant forever. It'd be easier for them to do the portion one than pulling out a scale right there at a restaurant. So you could also be able to dip into both of them to where you could be like, I'm following my macros, but I'm still at the restaurant. I'm giving kind of visual representation instead of pulling out your scale, chopping up the chicken that comes to you. You see what I'm saying? So we have to decide during this week and through the questions and all the exercises going, what is going to work better for you, and be really honest with yourself. But that's also not to say that you couldn't follow the macros and then 2 weeks later be like, I have not hit any of my numbers. What do I need to do? And then we may need to bring it back to the hand portion, or even something as simple as like, I want you to drink a gallon of water. I want you to avoid this. I want you to do that. Like Mike, when you first came here with the diet, like, did we give you macros? What did we do with you?
Yeah, you gave me macros.
Well, he gave you macros? No.
No, he told you first to start certain things to do.
Oh.
Then you came to me.
Yeah.
Do you remember the things that we did in the beginning?
Drink a gallon of water.
Yep.
First and foremost. Second one was get your beer drinking under control.
Yep.
I need those tips.
So a lot of people, when they first come here, we try to knock out those easy things too. So you may be in a situation where we're like, here's 5 rules I want you to follow. And you could get a lot from that, especially if it's just like weight loss. So. Deep health, right? So with what we're doing, we're gonna make sure that we wanna make sure that we're getting a level of health that is far beyond even just being aesthetic, right? We want to be overall healthy with a lot of things. No, deep health. It's just a multifaceted, whole person, whole life type of experience, right? We just want you to be overall healthy with everything. And if you're overall healthy, I'm just gonna do all this crap right here. But basically, I just look at it like this. And I heard it in the interview, if I feel good about myself, then everyone else around me is gonna know it, right? So if I feel good with what I'm doing and I feel healthy and I'm doing what I need to do, then I'm gonna be more of a pleasure to be around, okay? So basically, it's one thing to not like yourself because you feel you're overweight, or not comfortable with yourself because you're underweight, or, you know what I mean, you feel like you're not adequate to something. But if you're in the grind of getting better at it, it's a lot bigger, lot smaller pill to swallow. Like if I'm overweight, but I'm like working every day to not be overweight, then that's gonna give me more of a sense of overall feeling, and then basically I'm not gonna be an asshole to everyone around me. Most people are just assholes because they're resentful because they're not doing something, right? That's typically how it is. So if you're doing your part, then we're gonna make the world all the much better. That's basically deep health, right? Could someone give me something that they feel they're doing right in their nutrition before they even got here?
Taking glucosamine and chondroitin every day.
Okay, why do you take that?
My joints.
Joints? Joint health, so you take that pretty
My
consistently?
knees.
That's one thing that you do right. Aaron, what's one thing you do right?
Water now.
That you do, he does water now, right? Come to me, like, I don't drink any water.
It's not just for showering.
Then you start drinking water. How do you feel once you start drinking water?
Better, yeah.
Feel great, right? What are some things like that you can feel in the gym that feels better from drinking water?
Just like the last 6 reps,
No, more energy to finish it, right? Someone else, something that you do right most.
Stop drinking soda.
Stop drinking soda. You gotta do it. A lot of times, the first question that you normally get is, "What do you do wrong?" Right? Like, what am I doing wrong? And you start listing things that you aren't doing right. Start changing your mindset to be like, "What am I doing right? Like, what am I doing right now that is good in my diet?" And focus on that first. Then talk about the things that you're doing wrong. Okay? What have you done wrong? Right? What have you done wrong in your diet? Someone give me that. That should be really easy. Rob first. Only because go ahead. Something wrong.
The 2 Hershey bars tonight.
The 2 Hershey bars. Tell me about what you used to, because we gave you a simple rule in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So what was that?
It was 3 simple things.
Okay.
So it was cut out the chocolate bars and bring you the rest of the ones that I had stashed in my house.
Oh, you just want
Yes.
to room to you.
I did.
Good man.
So,
They ate them all.
no, I did not eat them all. I brought them in, the kids were eating them, and I was going to give them out for Halloween, and they were like, "Oh, we thought they were for us." Either way, so what happened is we just started talking, and that's how it starts, is collecting data. And it's like, okay, well, what is going on? And he was like, "Well, at night I eat chocolate." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Then what's the next question? Like, so what do you eat? Like a piece of candy?" And then he started telling me the grandeur of what he was doing as far as chocolate. Because we all know what we're doing wrong. It's in the bottom because we put stuff on top of it, excuses why we aren't where we want to be. We put it way at the bottom. But if we ask enough questions, we find out what it is, and you're like, "I do that." We all know what we need to do, right? It's just how do we get it through that accountability. So it was the chocolate. And how many chocolate bars was it? 2?
Yeah.
What size are these?
Imagine just trying to shame me. No, it was,
Well, but you don't know what you're
it was a
doing.
full regular, I was shaming the game. It was a full regular size chocolate bar too.
Full regular size. But to him, it's fun size. Right? So, but you would think to you right now, the first thing you said was, "It's fun size. It's gotta be fun size." But it wasn't, because we don't know what we're doing sometimes. We don't know we're having 17 sodas in a week. We don't know that 3,000 of our calories come straight from liquid. We don't know that until someone else is on the other side being like, "Hey, did you know?" I had someone write down a diet before, and I circled every soft drink that they had, and at the end of it, I totaled it, and it was over 2,000 calories that they were doing. And it was just in liquid. That had nothing to do with their diet. So 2,000 calories were spent with no nutrition to the body whatsoever, all the other things that come from that as well. It's as simple as that. So right there, that was one thing. What's another thing? No. Just not eating at all. So that comes from many things. It comes from maybe you're trying to lose weight and you're just like, "I'm just gonna starve myself." Or it could come from things that happened in the past that make you have a bad relationship with food, right? Because it is something that is psychological when it comes to food, right? Because it's something we take in the body and it becomes us, right? So a lot of times we have bad relationship with food, we don't know it, but you need someone to show you that, right? So anyone else want to share one?
Alicia?
Ron?
What's
Well,
that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm listening to his 2 candy bars and I'm thinking, well, that's not bad.
Rationality.
Because I have a terrible sugar addiction. So at night, it is like nothing for me to go through like a whole bunch of cookies. But I have a very good cookie problem.
Oreo sleep.
No, I make them.
Well, that's a serving size.
I'm going, okay, well, there's nutrition in here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I can totally get
Yeah.
that.
To me, like, I have this thing that's like sleep, walking, eating. Like at night, I literally feel like I come out of my body in third person and I go get food, eat it, and then by my bed, on the nightstand, there's like bowls of cereal that were gone, Pop-Tart wrappers. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've had this for a long, long time. Like I just don't know what happens. And I have a problem. I love food. It doesn't matter if it's savory or sweet. So I wish it could be one or the other of us both. Like I love it. So when it comes down to me, like I don't know. Like sometimes I'm eating and before you know it, it's like 6 cookies, 7 cookies, 8 cookies. I don't know. We had my daughter made these. Is she in there? Okay, she made these.
Yes, she is.
Okay, whatever. She made these cupcakes, right? And they taste amazing, but they look absolutely horrible. Just the worst presentation in the world, right? But they were delicious. They were really, really good, right? So she makes them for my older daughter's birthday. And she makes, how many? They were 12?
Was it 12?
It was a 6-pan, 2 6-pans, it was 12, right? 8, okay, so it's a true story, all right? So what happened was, if we do the math, all the cupcakes were gone, right? So everybody's like, who ate cupcakes? And then, like, Zoe's like, I didn't eat one, and Alyssa's like, I had one, and Nicole's like, I had one, and then she was like, I had one, and then when we did the math, it was like, well, I had the other 6. I was like, if all y'all did that and they're all gone, and I know I ate more than one, it just sneaks up sometimes, it just happens. And I know that's the issue with me when it comes to this, is that I don't always eat for fuel. Sometimes I just eat for pleasure, or if I'm stressed, I just eat, you know what I mean? And I'm not even hungry, it just happens, you know what I mean? So that's where the psychological part comes with it, all right? So we all profess what we do well. Okay, how to be more better at eating good shit. I did that on purpose for you, Mike, so it could just drive you crazy, because anything I do wrong. So one is plan, right? Plan, set time, put it in your phone. When am I gonna prepare meals for myself? When am I gonna grocery shop healthy food? All this stuff you need to plan, and you need to set time to do it. I feel that everyone has time to do it. You just have to put it on the higher priority scale, right? So if you love to go golfing on the weekend, then you may need to cut down your time golfing on the weekend so that you could go do whatever. I don't even know if I got golfer. I just threw it out there. Everyone has time, but it's the allocation of that time based upon priority. So your health should be #1 priority, because that's you, right? And if you're on your bed from terminal illness and you're jacked up, you're gonna think about all the times you had before then. I guarantee it. Anyone that's ever met someone that's gone through anything that has anything that's terminal, anything like that, I guarantee you that they had time to try to make it better. And they're thinking about that at that moment. So it is a priority. You live in your body. You own your body. And what you are walking around in, everything that you take in is an investment to your longevity. And that's not just for yourself, that's for your family, that's for your kids, that's for everything else. What I deposit in me will become me, right? If I eat a shit ton of cookies, that turns into my skin. That's my organs. That's where it goes. It repairs and rejuvenates your body into that. So the adage of you are what you eat is truly what it is. So we sit here and we're like, why are so many people got cancer? Why so many people got this? Why? It's because of what they're eating and how they're eating along the way. Now there's a lot of other factors, but what can you control in this life that no one else can? It's what you consume. You can't control how much time you have. You can't control, if work's gonna let you off to make the 5 p.m. training time. You can't control that, but you can control what you eat. Now I'm not saying it's easy, but you can't control it, right? I told my wife, I was like, I wanna create a new diet. It's called the dog diet, right? I don't eat unless she brings out a dish for me, right? Because I look at my dog, and sometimes my kids forget to feed her, and it's like 5 p.m. and they're like, stop whining, and I'm like, has the dog eaten? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, the dog can't go make its own food. It has to have that dish put in front of them. So I was like, if I had a diet like that, I would have a lot better control, because I just sit there whining until I got my food.
Until
Or
he
not.
goes to bed and he wakes up.
Well, then you would have to create
A meal for him.
electrical gate. You have to have a collar. You would set the boundary where it was hallway to bathroom is the only thing between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m.
I heard collar.
Collar.
Like, we're getting
So it shocks me if I go in the kitchen, dog diet. It might stick. Anyone want to try it? We can do it. All right?
Can we please have a bowl that just says Dan on the side of it and put it in the corner? Eat
We
your
can do
food,
it.
Dan.
Go eat your ground beef. But that's what you get. That's what's in the bag, right? So plan it, make time to do it. If food is in your house or possession, you will eventually eat it. You will. If it's bad food, you'll definitely eat it, okay? Try not to put it in your house, right? If you got a thing for like gummy bears, or you got a thing for the sweet strawberry shortcake snack cakes or the zebra cakes or any of that ice cream, just don't put it in your house. We're inherently lazy, so 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get in your car and go drive and get it.
Walmart and Publix, exactly. Walmart, there's one o'clock in the morning milkshake runs. The thing.
Don't make me sick right now. Come on. That's where that self-control comes from, right?
Not a problem for me.
I need everyone to delete that app. Once you've scheduled the time to actually cook your meals and get them going, right? And here's another thing too with meal prep. People do Sunday to go on, try to have a plan to prep to take care of you on the weekend as well. Some people only think about Monday through Friday. Is that your route?
You know it's
I looked a little bit. So Monday through Friday you prep your meals, and then Saturday comes and they're like, and they go out and they eat. The problem is if you're looking at like roughly 3,000, just for the sake of math, 3,500 calories to lose a pound of fat, right? If you are creating yourself like maybe a 500 calorie deficit every day, we said about connecting, right? Like your diet connects. You don't reset calories the next day, right? It's not like, oh, I had a bad day, Tuesday it's 0, I'm good to go. No, it carries on. Like your body doesn't work that way. Like it's a deficit over time to lose weight. So say Monday, I created a 500 calorie deficit, I stuck to my diet, great. Tuesday, my coworker brings donuts in, I slap it off the table, boom. Wednesday comes in, I don't go eat chili with my my coworkers. They're like, what a nerd, but I went through it, right? And I go through the whole week and I've deprived myself and created a 500 calorie deficit. Now, accumulate 5 times 5, I have 2,500 calorie deficit, right? I'm on track to lose that pound of fat at the end of the week. Saturday hits, average slice of pizza is over 500 calories. Just one. Who in here just eats one?
Pizza?
No.
Yes.
One pizza,
Exactly.
500 calories.
But that's just pizza. What about that beer on Saturday? What about the bag of Chex Mix? Sound like my diet. What about all that, right? That accumulates, and before you know it, that deficit that you created Monday through Friday in front of everybody is no longer there, and the weekend has stopped you on your tracks because one, you didn't prep and prepare, so the only thing you prepared yourself was to fail, right? So the weekends are same as there's no Sunday cheat day, right? You have to compound each one. Huh?
They don't count. Those are the Lord's calories.
Only the bread that they give you, the body, that's it. What was the Dane Cook? You say put it, put them in the milk and eat them all. The box opens, the little cherub comes out. Prepare your food, then also execute, eat your food. We talked about that as well. Does anyone have any questions? Like we just prep real quick, preparing for the weekend, anything that they run into along the way. You can tell me.
Go ahead, Monica.
Oh.
Like, it might just be a me thing, but like, I don't like chewing.
Absolutely.
I don't like food. Like, I don't like chewing food. I hate it.
Okay.
Like,
No, that's that. So the idea of just eating it is hard for you to even just do that right there.
Chicken in a blender.
yeah, I can't.
Hey, why
Do
you
you-
chocolate sauce?
Find stuff that's easier to chew sometimes. The texture of your food allows you to get it down early. Like I don't eat a lot of steak because if I had to take in like 12 ounces of steak to suffice for my protein intake, that's a lot of freaking chewing.
Yeah,
No.
you cut the wrong cut of meat.
If the consistency is something
You should
like
brine
eggs,
it.
it's a little bit easier. If it's egg whites in a shake, stuff like that. I mean, it sounds gross, but it really isn't. You mix it with fruit, you don't even taste it. Now maybe you've accompanied like 25% of your protein intake right off the bat in that shake, and it's easier to get down. Now you do need to still chew food because that's how it distributes nutrients, is that as it's chewing, it's a whole process through your body, right? But finding textures that are easier to put down, like ground beef and rice, like I could, less than 5 minutes is gone. And as opposed to if it's like boneless, skinless chicken breast, it's a lot harder for me to eat because the chewing is dry. Just can't do it. So finding textures of food that work for you as well. But also those textures of food, like like having stuff that is liquidy, you know, it builds to your hydration as well. Like when you're eating vegetables and fruits and stuff, that is hydration as well. So that allows you to get that as, you know, your food doesn't have to be what you hate, but creating a better texture is something that helps. Or the introduction of some shakes. I wouldn't recommend everything be a shake, but it can help, you know. I'd rather you do it than not.
Can we use this kind of a side question, can we use the group thing on Facebook as like for example, if we have a recipe to make not dry chicken, or to make a shake that has, and just put the macros in it, and measurements and all that?
Yes. So what we envision from the group page is it should be full of like Sundays should look like Sunday prep. Like show it to us. Like put it on there. You guys have to know that you're not the only one doing it. Other people are doing it. You may see a photo of that prep and it might be 10 o'clock on a Sunday and you're like, I do need to do it. Look at it. Mike's killing it. He's already done. I need to go do it. Or you may see an idea of a recipe and very well share them. Like be like, hey, I made this whatever and it was great. Or I tried this brine on my chicken, it was better. Like share that so that people can build upon it. We want everyone here, that's the goal, is everyone finishes at the end. Like we don't want to leave anyone behind. We want and if you see someone faltering or something, like tag them. Be like, hey, where you at? We're all posting meals. Do it. Like, I think everyone here is under the understanding that we all want to finish this. We all want to do good at this, do well at this. I beat you. We all want to do well at this.
Do good or better.
You knew you were about to get ready.
I know. So no one should be feeling any type of way if someone's like, hey, I'm checking on you. I want you to get better at this. That also takes some of the brunt off the coaches so that they can do that as well. So use that page for it, definitely. Share it. Tell people what you're doing. Hey, I am doing this challenge at my gym. Speaking things into existence is a real thing. Like you can hold it in your brain and that's all it is. But the moment that it comes out of your mouth, it actually creates accountability. You're speaking it into life. You're saying, I want to do this. You told somebody, that somebody has now heard it. You've created some other type of accountability so they can actually. Right. You got anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good. I mean, you never know who you're gonna inspire. Like she may make a chicken meal and she's like, I have all this chicken in my refrigerator, I don't know what the fuck to do with it, and then she's like, I see her, and I see him. I'm gonna do all those meals, and then it just kind of helps her get ideas. Cause like sometimes I know when we prep, like it gets so boring, the same stuff over and over. Some people can do the same stuff over and over. Like getting different seasonings for your foods is like a magic trick for just ground beef and rice.
So sriracha.
It makes everything better.
I hate sriracha.
I
was
love
gonna say it. I think it's garbage. It's horrible. I'll have some.
It's better for you than ketchup.
Well, I don't.
I don't eat ketchup.
Arby's sauce is pretty good.
Too much sugar.
I like beef and cheddar.
Beef and cheddar.
Is that it?
That's it.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
That's it.
There you go.
Is there anything else there?
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A. Oh yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
What are some trigger foods? What are some things? Go ahead and say it.
French fries.
Cheesecake.
Gummies.
Beer flavored mashed potatoes.
Beer flavored mashed potatoes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Sean's
That's where you eat
intrigued.
mashed potatoes and you drink a beer.
Yeah.
Watch it down like that.
Alcohol.
Just beer.
Listen, alcohol is one of those things, it's a touchy subject with some people. They don't want to get rid of it. I get it, right? But wait, hold on. It'll be in there. But alcohol is a macro.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's not a good one, but it is a macro, right? It's defined as a macro.
Hey, I mean, Aquaman made his bod for that movie drinking 4 Guinnesses a day. It's possible.
And what else did he do? Because he's a movie star.
I know, but I'm gonna start with that diet.
That's not really Jack, it's a bodysuit.
No, that's
So, alcohol is a macro. It gives you 7 calories per gram. 7 calories.
And does it change for alcohol you're drinking?
On the amount for sure. So what happens is I'm eating my food, it's metabolizing throughout the day. Saturday, I have some drinks. Anything that's in my body that needs to distribute is on hold because the body doesn't know how to distribute the alcohol, so it has to burn it first. So it stops everything right away. I've had people come to me and say I'm on a ketogenic diet, and then they drink on the weekends.
That's what I stopped drinking.
Like, it's the most appalling thing to me, because when you're in like a ketogenic diet, the whole idea is to be in ketosis. And half of them didn't even know what ketosis was. So you're in ketosis, yet you've now gone out of the fat burning zone completely because you have to burn the alcohol. And when it comes to the alcohol, the calories that you get in alcohol are non-nutrient dense, and we'll go over that real quick, is that they are gonna affect you differently than the calories you would get in a cupcake. Or say ice cream. Ice cream still has fat, still has some protein in it. You know what I mean? It's not your best source by any means, but it still has a macro profile that is going to give you something as alcohol doesn't. But alcohol affects other things, your hormones, your sleep, your recovery, your decisions.
Sugar drinks.
Yeah. So a lot of times I'd rather you have the cupcake than the beer or the liquor or whatever. So, but what happens when you drink though? You're at a place you tend to eat more. You're more reckless, abandoned. So you're not just having a beer, watching a game. Now you're continuing to consume other things as well. Simple nutrition. Keep it simple, stupid. I love Office. Great advice hurts my feelings every time. Simple. Like the more simple you can make this, the more successful you'll be. That's why we're not going too far into a lot of things. The second seminar will dive a lot deeper in it, especially as we learn more about what. And then bear with us. This is our biggest group event we've ever done at Black Sheep as far as nutrition or anything. We've always kept this simple. This is the biggest one. Y'all are like the pioneers, the first group. We want to do this every year, but you are the first group, so we're going to have to learn a lot of things of what works and what doesn't. Real quick, I'm going to try to keep it real simple. What is a calorie? It's a measurement of energy, right? Like I said, I'm keeping this real simple. We could go into the joules and all that, but I'm going to stop right there. We could be in the deficiency of maintenance or excess. That's really where we're at. We can have too little. We can end up being tired, foggy brain, poor performance, excess muscle or weight loss because we're in a deficiency of calories. So a lot of times it's like, well, yeah, I'm underweight. That doesn't mean like you're healthy. You have less calories doesn't mean that you're losing fat. You're gonna lose your muscle before you lose it, fat. Maintenance, I'm stagnant body weight. I stay at the same. I'm not above, I'm not below. The energy I consume and the energy that I eat maintains, my body weight stays the same. Also, that means if I have crappy performance, my performance stays the same. Too much, now I'm fat. Poor performance, I got hormone issues. I got poor sleep, right? I've gained too much weight because I've eaten too much, right? The bottom line is we get energy from food. We expend energy to move and stay alive, to do things that we enjoy. We should only have enough fuel to do such things, right? Anything else is excess, and then it gets stored into us. There's not many animals out there that are beasts for the most part. They're pretty prime, unless they're in captivity. So they stay prime. So we talked about this real quick, right? Hand-sized portions, right? This is one way that you could be very close to what you need to eat without having to break out the scale. Hand-sized portions, think of one palm as being a serving of protein, right? Serving of protein would be about 30 grams of protein, right? So you could think in a day, if I need 90 grams, I need 3 of these, 3 chicken breasts. I know meat is different when it comes to protein content and fat, but if you want to be very close to it, 80%, that's a good way to do it. Especially if I'm sitting here like I'm in a location where I don't have a scale to me, all right? Some people have bigger hands. Is that what you're thinking around?
Yes.
Yes. Just general, okay? Just general, like if you have a hand this big,
That's all I get.
don't bring out the big football hand and say that neither, okay? A fist, that's about serving of vegetables. Vegetables that we're looking at is like green leafy vegetables, colorful vegetables, things like that you want to put in there. And we're not gonna go there, I'm gonna keep it simple. Cupped hand is a serving carbohydrates. So that's what we're looking about, that much. Not that much. Not 2 cup hands, and definitely not an oversized hand. Not an overflow one. And then 1 thumb is servings of fat. Fats are good, stuff like avocados, olive oil, things like that you can have. Fat isn't bad. Okay. The other one would be macronutrient counting. Your macros are your protein, your carbohydrates, your fat, and I also told you that it's alcohol as well as macro. I don't want that in there, but it is the reality of the situation. Just to drive home the fact that it will get burned in front of everything else if you do. So 1 protein per gram is 4 calories. Carbohydrates, 4 calories as well. Fats are your highest calories, 9, and then alcohol, 7. So macronutrient counting. So obviously scales right there, spoon right there. Are you gonna do like a quick thing for 'em, or does anyone like not know how to like measure? Like don't know how to measure? Okay, not there. Anyone else not know how to measure?
What do you mean by measure?
Like if I was like, I want you to take 30 grams of protein, would you be able to figure out how many grams you need to?
No, without a scale.
Well, yeah, you'll have a scale. But does anyone just like not know at all? And it's okay if you don't. That's why you're here.
You're talking about 30 grams of raw weight or 30 grams of protein?
So there is cooked and then there's raw, obviously, and that's one thing too. That's a good question. When you're using an app or anything like MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, there's so many like apps out there where you can scan the label of something and it'll bring up everything about it, or you can type in chicken breast and it'll tell you its macronutrient profile so you can count your calories. You do have to pay attention to cooked and not cooked. Okay, so if you are doing it raw, it's gonna weigh heavier because it has liquid in it. And also that's a factor when you're buying your food too, is if you get like the cheap chicken and it's less pound, it's like 99 cents a pound, it's because they inject it with like saline, that's what makes it heavier. And as soon as you cook it, it's like a soupy mess, like all the water runs out of it, and that's gonna change the weight of your thing.
We know that all too well.
When we were doing meal preps, we would like buy per pound, we needed like 150 pounds of chicken breast. We would buy, go Sam's, buy a 99-cent one, and then go cook it, and then we figured we had 150 pounds, and we have like 115 pounds. And we have to go back because what we were buying was uncooked weight, had a lot of water in it. As soon as you cook it, it dries out and it changes it. So whatever you do as far as measuring, make it consistent. If you're gonna do it by raw weight, make it always by raw weight. And then measure that, obviously measure that raw weight and then clean, don't cross-contaminate. Don't put broccoli in it next and then put in there. But keep it consistent whether it's cooked or uncooked.
So with buying your chicken, on it, it's in little print how much water is in your chicken. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed it. It's like little thing.
It'll say like 10%
Yeah,
water
also in
solution.
ham, it says it's
Yeah, so pay attention to that because sometimes that evens out. Like you may be looking at like a Purdue chicken or something that's a little better quality and it costs like $1 extra, and you're automatically gonna go to the Walmart brand one, but it's gonna actually end up balancing out because when you cook it, you're gonna lose what you paid for. You didn't pay for, the whole chicken, you paid for the injection of fluid in it as well. So, yeah.
I would rather y'all weigh it cooked because it's a little bit more accurate because depending on the type of chicken you eat. So chicken thigh is gonna have a lot more fat in it.
Or if it has bones in it too.
And if it has bones in it too. So I prefer for y'all to weigh it cooked. It's gonna be the closest to accurate as possible.
Like if Mike buys a really good chicken that doesn't have a lot of saline in it, and I'm a cheapo and I buy the other one, then our weights are gonna be off, and it could be so much so that I'm losing 20 grams of protein in a day. And then I'm over here talking to my coach, and I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. I've hit it, then maybe not. But it's just one of those little details that can creep up on you. Go ahead, Mike.
So just kind of, because I've noticed this as well, the type of chicken you buy, you will lose, if you buy a cheap chicken, you will lose 25 to 35% of the net weight when you cook it. It's a lot.
If you were just cooking chicken for your family, you don't care, but if you were, one of the easiest ways to know what you need to prep is how much you eat in a day. You actually see your grocery bill go down because of it, because you won't buy in excess. But you can sit here and do your math and be like, I need 12 pounds of protein in a week, and you literally can just go buy it. You know what I mean? And it just makes it 10 times easier. So that it helps with that.
So for somebody that just moved here, where do you shop?
So
Sam's Club is popular.
Sam's is great, especially if you need to buy a lot. Now, when it comes to like Produce, I don't like going to Walmart. I feel like it's gone in like one day. Frozen vegetables are a really good option because just the quality's kind of crap around here. So like you can end up buying something and it goes bad right away. There is not much of a difference from fresh, flash frozen to fresh at all. Go ahead.
As far as like my meat goes, like a lot of my chicken and ground beef, like it sounds kind of bougie as hell, but also like I always take into account the antibiotics and the hormones and stuff into it too. But vegetables, like I usually go to Publix because they, especially with like herbs and stuff, I feel like the herbs are a lot better. But Whole Foods just has a wider range or arrangement of vegetables in my opinion, and also like seasonings and everything too. They have way more than Publix. I rarely go to Winn-Dixie. I don't like their beef at all, and Walmart, I refuse to buy meat from Walmart.
Agreed. I like Winn-Dixie for meat because, like with me, if I eat a lot of protein and stuff like that, just from the bargain perspective, there's a lot of BOGOs and stuff there.
I also don't have kids,
So, I like Winn-Dixie because there's always this, buy this, get $5 off, $10 off, and stuff like that. It could be because it's crap. I can't tell. I think it's better than Walmart, that's for sure, when it comes down to it. So that's what I would
I also eat a lot of fish, like fish markets. I'll hit up fish markets.
take advantage of the region too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fresh, so, you know. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, there's an advantage to buying frozen veg and fruit
Yeah.
because it's not only is it easy to store, it's stored a long time. It's picked at its natural ripeness. It's not picked early and then ripened over time.
Everything out of season.
Right. So if you buy like green beans or broccoli or berries, like they're always picked at peak freshness. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's because one, it's cheaper. I can keep a lot of it at the same time.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to Sam's Club, I'm happy to go to Sam's Club
Yeah,
whenever
Sam's
you
Club
want.
right here.
I'm going after this.
Sam's Club
Yeah, I
has
wanna
an
buy
amazing
some
app too. You don't even have to talk to nobody. You just use the app. You just pick what you want, check out, and then show it to the dude. You walk up, show it to Mr. Bill, go right up.
We love Mr. Bill.
Yeah. So.
Alright, so this is basically 1 gram.
That's all you get.
What's up there?
the size of my
That's your post workout meal. You can choose to cook it or not.
I'm just showing you what 1 gram of rice is. Jasmine.
I like jasmine.
Sushi rice.
But when you do your macros, there's a difference between long grain and all those different ones. There's not much difference between white and brown rice. That's a big misconception. When it comes down to it, it's not processed much different.
Fluffy, sticky.
One
How
egg.
dense is that dough?
Some people go there.
Hasn't been in your pocket for 3 days?
If you like the sticky,
But this is also raw too. I
texture
mean
of
raw.
rice, there's one company that's called sushi rice.
Uncooked, yeah.
Smaller grain rice
This is
goes
what's
in a
crazy.
blue bag, so when you cook it, it'll be sticky. You don't add sugar to it.
Um,
I buy it. Oh yeah. If you
So
buy it,
moving on with
sticky
it,
as-
what style works, it's the one that works best for you. So whether it's measuring, if that is your thing, like that's your jam, you're running with it, that's what you need to do. If it's hand portion size, that's a little bit more relaxed, like you're more of like on the spur type person, then that's gonna work for you. The style, or maybe you just do better with more like whole foods, things like that. Whatever style is best is the one that works for you. The one you could do over a long duration of time. We would rather you not be like on a bodybuilding style, like peaking diet where you can't maintain. We would like you to continue going on to it so that you can just expound upon that and get better and better as you go. Makes sense? I think we're almost up there. Oh, okay, we are, okay. So like I said, we didn't want to go too sciencey with it. We wanted to just get real good practical information. On that, does anyone have any questions about anything? That's simple. Right? If you do have specific questions that are a little bit more detailed, let us know and then we'll do our best to get that to you as soon as possible. Or propose it on the form page.
It's gonna sound like a funny question, but it's not. Is it zero alcohol, or is there a way to incorporate anything, any type of healthy I mean, just.
Okay, so
I mean, I don't know how to word it. Like,
It just needs to be counted in your, it's gonna take
You have to
away
give
from
up
your other
something
stuff.
else.
You're giving up.
so some rules.
Guinness, give away the cheese.
So on Saturdays, I can eat no food and I can drink all the alcohol.
So okay, let's talk about that real quick, all right? So that brings up something really good. There's a thing called if it fits your macros, right? I'm gonna tell you how that doesn't work sometimes, right? Because not all calories are created the same, right? If you
Nutritionist schools say
Yep.
calories a calorie.
because America is really concerned about you being
I don't taste any of them.
I agree with
Listen,
you. I'm just
listen.
saying what the
So when it comes down to it, but here's the thing about being a dietetic, right? Is that even though you do have guidelines, RDs are allowed to coach in the way that they want to. They don't have to prescribe to exactly what's up there. So that's something cool about RDs that a lot of people don't know, is that they don't have to prescribe to the food pyramid to say that. They're allowed to do different styles of dieting and everything like that. So they're not in the constraint of it. But they're not all the same. So if I say I want 100 grams of carbohydrates, and Aaron gets it in Oreos, and then Zach gets it in something that's more whole grain or complex type of food that's actually food, although he is hitting his macro numbers, it is not the same because the nutrient density is a lot less.
Well, there's more chemical reactions
So,
to the alcohol.
and you get all that too. So, no, I wouldn't recommend you doing it. You'll hit it real quick, that's for sure. Real quick, especially if it's like mixed drink, you'll hit it real quick.
It'll be a cheap drunk.
That's what I'm saying.
No matter what, at the end of this, definitely.
Never clear.
Well, because normally the mixed drink is with some type of syrup, with some type of sugar, so the calories are gonna
So
raise.
it's just like a vodka.
Okay, it depends on the stuff, but then that's gonna go into like, even if you get diet, you're gonna deal with the aspartame issue and all that, like I said, it
You
gets
just use club soda, it's just no.
down the rabbit hole. But also then it's like, well, remember what we said about the alcohol too, is that.
Girl, that's my heart right there.
Yeah.
Shot of whiskey.
So, if that's good, what we're talking about is, like, we wanted a very simple way for you guys to get there. I hope we've reached that. I mean, I hope we didn't make anyone fall asleep too much. You have continued coaching. Take this information, use it, but also find questions about what you need to do to get you on track. Find your style, start thinking about it. You will get it proposed to you this week. What would you like to try to do? Are you thinking that you'll suit macros? You think you suit more like a visual style? Or you think you're better off with something just very, very simple? Let us know, and then we're gonna steer you in that direction. We're gonna collect the data, we're gonna see what works, and this is gonna be an ongoing process the next 3 months to get us where we need to be. Does that sound good? Awesome, cool. Everything's good, you guys?
Any questions for me? Anything on the app or?
Can I hit you up after?
Good call.
Again, so you probably got a little message on your thing. I kind of push people through the check-in process so that we can get to this. So you're probably gonna get another one where it's gonna have your daily tasks. Again, it's gonna take me some time to get through it because I have to redo everything that y'all put in y'all's survey thing. So just be patient with me. I will get to you. Like I showed with Megan's, you will have daily tasks. There's also where you'll be able to go in there and read. Like you're gonna get a lot of education and stuff in there to read on your own time instead of like when it'll go in there talking about protein, it'll go in there talking about like hydration. It also has a section on alcohol for you too.
It's a major concern for a lot of us.
That was directed at me.
But take this whole week, just go through the app. Today, after you do the welcome thing, you're basically done. But tomorrow it's gonna start fresh. So you get wiped away and then it comes right back the next day. So just when it pops up tomorrow, look through it, play with your app. Send me a message letting me know, hey, I've done this, so that we make sure that we have the communication there. Because they have been doing a lot of updates to this app. And there's gonna be more. So when y'all do that, just send me messages, hey, I got this, or hey, I have a question about this. So then if there is an issue, if there's any issues with the app, please let me know so that I can message my support so we can get that fixed. Okay?
When does the contest start?
The contest starts February 1st. So I'm
First
hoping,
place, prize.
not really yet.
We'll talk about that midway
Yes.
on the seminar. I don't want anyone, okay. When it comes to this, why we didn't say in the beginning, why we want to do more midway, we want the focus to be like, what is the prize? Reaching your goal. It's number one, all right? Because once we hit number two, I don't want anyone sabotaging it.
Number on the board.
I don't want anyone sending pizza anonymously to someone's house.
My prize is the alcoholic.
As Tiffany and I go out and share one margarita.
We're gonna blow
Half the
12 weeks in one night.
How much did you drink? Half a margarita.
So, with that being said, go ahead and get whatever you want out of your system now.
Yeah,
Y'all got a whole week.
Well.
Get it out of your system because I will be in your business. Y'all have given me and Daniel the opportunity to work with y'all to get you to your goals. There is nobody else more serious, I'm being serious with y'all now, who is gonna push you to your goals. But me and Daniel and the person sitting right next to you.
Cool. Target 0. Candy bar sitting out his car.
Watch cooking shows when you're living
Don't ruin my truck.
Why am I having Hershey bars built to me?
That is reality.
I can't. But another big thing on this, because there will be a t-shirt. Okay, just for nutrition, I have survived. There will be a t-shirt at the end of it.
So
So,
it's not survived, it's actually evolved.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
well,
You can't evolve if you don't do that.
okay, so we'll work on the shirt. But there will be a shirt at the end of it.
You said you were gonna be nice.
Yeah, he did.
Rob brought it out of me.
Blame me for
Don't
your
eat it
mistakes.
at Nicole. Put you back in your box.
Alright guys, that's it. Take your Tupperware with you. If anybody wants cell phone measuring and stuff, just speak by. You wanna go over it a little bit?
Ready, my friends?
I had an alarm on my phone.
They're modern.
No, I told you. So, the question, why don't you we won't do something this week.
Oh.
I'm leaving.
So I'll send you mine. Mine has